Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Please
Good
come.
morning, sir.
Have a seat.
Thank you, sir.
How are you this morning?
Sir,
How are you this morning?
sir, it's been good, sir.
Actually, you'll take the interview in Telugu or English?
Sir, sir, actually, I have opted for Telugu translator for the interview, but I will speak in English once.
Ah,
If I couldn't articulate, then I will switch to Telugu.
But you asked for a translator
Yes, sir, there, sir.
there.
But
There
yes,
will be someone.
yes,
Okay, good enough. Yeah. But you, if I know you are a student from NIT, isn't it?
yes, sir.
And that too, NIT, which place?
Sir, Warangal, sir.
Warangal. Okay. Have the NITs served our country?
Sir,
Have the NITs served our country?
yes, sir. NITs have significantly contributing to the Indian society in terms of technology, in terms of supplying the workforce to the industries and the PSUs, and also the kind of cultural diversity they are offering because they are accommodating all over the country students and even from the students from abroad. So it is also having so many global linkages, and also the alumni of these colleges are acting like informal ambassadors for the Indian societies.
Okay. But what about their research output or their global impact or anything like that? Do you have anything to say about that? Are they comparable to organizations like IITs?
Sir, I exactly couldn't tell the kind of areas, but I can tell few from the NIT Warangal side, where the NIT Warangal has a MOUs with so many universities like National Institute of Thailand and Singapore, and also many universities in Africa as well. And also NIT Warangal has just working together has developed a heritage network where the Europe and the India has cooperating on each other in the technological ecosystem. And also there are so many patents for NIT Warangal. Just I'm talking it from the point of view of NIT Warangal only, sir. For example, plant growth detection technology, even thermal management and data centers. These are the areas on which even NIT Warangal is working, sir. But comparatively, NITs are a bit less technological research oriented because of the constraints in funding and all.
Compared to IITs?
Yes, sir.
Where do you think IITs generate so many funds? How do they do that?
Sir, the governing structure itself is different from NITs, sir. For IITs, they are getting more funds through the budgets, and also they are getting very much funds from the established strong alumni, and also there are so many industries also. Industry sponsored incubation centers are also very much established and developed in IITs, sir, rather than NITs. But nevertheless, NITs also in the same pace they are doing so well. And presently, for example, NIT Warangal, Suratkal, Tiruchi are in the front runners, in doing research.
Okay. Do they do campus placements in NITs?
Yes, sir.
Have you never tried to get into any of the organizations?
Sir, I got placed in Ford Motor Company, sir, and even I have worked for almost 1 year. Then I have resigned, sir.
And
then after I have started preparing for civil services.
Okay. How was your experience so far?
Sir, my experience with Ford Motor Company is it is only a very little time, which is almost like 11 months. But there I got a very good exposure of working along with the team with multidisciplinary students from another states and all. And also I got introduced to the what exactly automobile industry is doing, and I have got the opportunity to visit the manufacturing plant, how that mass assembling of the car from scratch to the final product is going and all. But yeah, before giving to any specific project, I quit the company, sir, because of my aspiration of becoming a civil servant. But yes.
Oh, that's interesting. Just tell me, while you were at the college, or subsequently perhaps you were counseling the parents about letting their children continue the education and not really dropping out.
Yes, sir.
You were doing something like that.
Yes, sir.
What exactly is the thing all about?
Sir, actually it was part of my another initiative, which is career guidance for the government school children. So whenever I visit the government school,
That was a personal initiative.
yes sir, it is by my personal initiation, inspired by my own life.
Uh-huh.
Because I have studied in government school, sir, where I was not able to take any informed decision in my 10th class. I have studied in a government school. So I felt like there should be some informed based decision about their careers for the students. It will help them to pursue their own interest. Even it help them to continue the education first of all, because due to the lack of mismatch between the skill they have and the opportunity, and also asymmetric information about the higher education. For example, barely the government school children knows what are the kind of opportunity they have after 10th class, sir, other than the traditional intermediate. So that is how I wanted to fill that void. So I have taken that initiative, sir.
What exactly have you done? What was that initiative all about?
So the initiative is about I visit the ninth class, and I visit the government schools along with my friends. I will take at least 10 to 15 of my friends every year. We'll visit 20 to around 20 schools at least. We make a presentation to the ninth and 10th class students, sir,
Okay.
where the kind of options they have for after the 10th class. For example, intermediate, there are polytechnical colleges, there are ITI colleges. If you want to become an engineer, you should, this is the path. If you want a doctor, if you want to become a doctor, this is the path. There are NITs, IITs, AIMS and all. So we will explain this process, and also we will let them know the kind of colleges are there, the scholarships are there, schemes are there, so that they will make some informed based decisions. Because uh, it is the one of the biggest gap I have observed in government schools, sir, when compared to other.
Was that
corporates.
effective? Whatever you did?
Yes, sir. I didn't follow up very constructively because of the constraints. Because I have done all this in my personal capacity. So, but I followed up few people, sir, where I was able to make them to pursue good colleges for the intermediate, and some of them have joined in NITs also, sir. In fact, other engineering colleges, and some of the people who wanted to drop out after 10th class, I made them to join ITI, so that they pursue some vocational education there, and they become some good earning mechanics and
Okay.
electricians, sir.
Got it.
This I have
So
found.
you did this after you were in IT?
Yes, sir. I have started this since my BTech second year, sir, and I'm still
Second.
continuously
So
still doing that.
where were these schools?
Sir, first in the first section, when I was in Warangal, I visited the schools around Warangal place, sir.
Okay.
Then after, whenever possible, I have done the same in Srikakulam district of my
Okay.
own place. And also, when I was in Hyderabad, I was doing this every year during around the Nalgonda areas, Nalgonda, Miryalgooda.
Very good. If I have to ask you one single question,
Yes, sir.
with respect to the backwardness of the North Coastal Andhra Pradesh,
Yes, sir.
can you give me one reason? Give me only one reason. Most important reason.
Sir, in my opinion, maybe sir, I believe maybe it was because of the earliest influence of the Naxalism in the northern Andhra, especially Srikakulam. Because of that,
No,
there
what was my question?
Sir,
What was my question? My question was
what
not
is
that.
the backward most? What are the most prominent reason for the backwardness of Srikakulam?
Yes, yes.
I could say it is a lack of industrialization, sir.
Yes.
Mr. Ramu,
Yes, sir.
your interests, they're very, very interesting. You said that you explored the lyrics, exploring lyrics in Telugu movies.
Yes, sir.
Now, what exactly is this?
Sir, actually, this is connected with my interest in literature. That is how I started exploring the movie lyrics. Just I'll observe, I will explore the lyrics, how beautifully the lyricist has said the kind of meaning he wanted to tell, and also the kind of language appreciation, and also those lyrics will help me to set my mood and my attitude towards the movie, and also it will sensitize me towards so many things, like it will improve my imaginative skills and analytical skills also, sir, as well.
Okay, Telugu appears to be the most sweetest language.
Sir?
Telugu language is the most sweetest language.
Yes, sir.
Now, apart from this ending of vowels, what exactly are the other factors contributing for the sweetness of language? You understand the question?
Yes, I understood the question, sir. Just I need a few seconds to answer this.
Go ahead.
Sir, if you allow me, I will try to articulate in Telugu, sir.
Yes.
Please do. Please do.
సార్, ఖచ్చితంగా నేను చెప్పలేను, కానీ నా 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 దృష్టిలో నేను స్వీటెస్ట్ అంటే ఇట్స్ నాట్ జస్ట్ అబౌట్ ద బ్యూటిఫుల్ అని కాదు సార్ అనుకుంటున్నాను. తెలుగు లాంగ్వేజ్ ఈజ్ become more sweet, not just because of it is a overlanding language, but also it is so accommodative language where it అది అన్ని లాంగ్వేజ్ నుంచి కూడా ఎటువంటి ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్స్ వచ్చినా కానీ అవసరమైన పదాలను చేర్చుకోగలిగింది, మన దగ్గర లేని ధ్వనులను చేర్చుకోగలిగింది. ఆ ధ్వనులకు సంబంధించిన అక్షరాలు మన దగ్గర లేకపోయినా కానీ దానికి తగ్గట్టుగా ఉచ్చారణ విస్తరణ కలిగిన భాష తెలుగు. సో దానివల్ల మనం ఏ భాషలో ఎలాంటి ధ్వనులు ఉన్నా కానీ మనం వాటిని తెలుగులో ప్రతిధ్వని కలిగించాం కాబట్టి అది స్వీట్ లాంగ్వేజ్ అని నేను అనుకుంటున్నాను సార్.
Okay. Generally, language reflects the culture of a society.
Yes, sir.
Now, tell us how Telugu language reflects the specific culture of Telugu people.
Yes, sir. During the early time before the formation of Andhra state, we were the part of Madras state, in which the Tamilians are very much dominant. To get the for the in the process of getting our own state formation, Telugu literature has contributed a lot in terms of highlighting the Telugu culture even since the ancient time. Through, for example, again, sir, I will speak in Telugu if you allow me.
Yeah,
please.
ఆంధ్రతత్వం అనేది మన పూర్వం నుంచి కూడా ఎంత గొప్పది అని చెప్పడానికి, లేదంటే పురావైభవ సంకీర్తన, మనకు ఎలాంటి కల్చర్ ఉంది, ఎలాంటి సివిలైజేషన్ మనకు ఉంది అని చెప్పడానికి ఆంధ్రోద్యమంలో భాగంగా మనకి రాయప్రోలు సుబ్బారావు గారు, విశ్వనాథ సత్యనారాయణ గారు, మరింత మంది కవులు వీళ్ళు ఆంధ్ర సంస్కృతిని బాగా ముందుకు తీసుకొచ్చి దాన్ని ప్రేరేపించారు సార్. దిస్ ఇస్ హౌ లిటరేచర్ హెల్ప్డ్ ఇన్ highlighting.
Okay, you also wrote that you are looking into the Mahabharata.
Yes, sir.
Okay, in Mahabharata you would like to learn the insights. Now tell us from your what the prescribed text, Sri Krishna Rayabaram, what is the insight you have observed from Tikkana, which is very useful for an administrator?
Sir, I believe diplomacy should come first anytime, whenever before the war. We should what the kind of insights I have learned from that, especially that Sri Krishna Rayabaram episode, was we should always try negotiate until the last minute to avoid the war. This is the first takeaway, sir. And the diplomat should be very neutral. He should not be allied with any one side. And third one is
talking about a bureaucrat.
Yes, sir.
You are talking about the diplomat.
Yes, sir.
So I'm talking in general, not in a diplomacy. In general, a bureaucrat, what is going to gain out of that particular piece of poetry?
Sir, in my opinion, a diplomat is also a bureaucrat. That is why I could see something from diplomacy only. Beyond diplomacy.
It's okay.
Yes.
In Karpura Vasanta Railu.
Yes, sir.
The poet has given a very good, what we can say, a type of dilemma to the heroine. That's called the Lakuma.
Yes, sir.
Now, what exactly is this type of dilemma?
Sir, ఇది వ్యష్టి ధర్మం కన్నా సమిష్టి ధర్మం అనేది ముఖ్యమని, దేశ సౌభాగ్యం ముఖ్యమని చెప్పే డైలమా సార్ ఇది. అందులో రాజు లకుమతో నడిపే ప్రేమ వ్యవహారం అనేది దేశ భద్రతకి, దేశ సౌభాగ్యానికి రాజీ తీసుకొస్తుంది. దానివల్ల దేశం కోసం అని లకుమ ఆత్మత్యాగం చేస్తుంది. సో ద డైలమా ఈస్ బిట్వీన్ ద personal interest versus a nation interest, kind of, in terms of, if you talk
so it's called ethical dilemma. So she faced an ethical dilemma.
Yes, she faced an ethical dilemma, but she navigated it through cost and benefit analysis. She thought
no, that is the only solution for that dilemma. She died, of course, committed suicide.
Yes, sir.
Is the death the only solution for that?
Sir, in my opinion, I thought she could have pursued the king, Komaragiri Reddy, a bit well, sir. But even before she pursued him, she committed suicide. Again, I don't think it was the first resort, sir.
Okay. Final question is, you wrote 0 as far as Telangana is concerned in your options. You can see the options. I found that very interesting. You put Telugu, Andhra Pradesh as number 1, 2 Tamil Nadu, 3 Karnataka, 4 Kerala, Telangana 0. Why this 0?
Sir, genuinely speaking, sir, actually there was an option to choose the home state. we can choose home state wherever we want, like whenever through the options, like when we study somewhere we can choose it as an option, home state. As I have studied NIT Warangal, which is in Telangana, for 4 years, then after I have been residing in Hyderabad for last 4.5 years. So I considered home state as Telangana, so that as an outsider I could get the Andhra Pradesh as my first option. So that is why I opted it for home state and I kept it zeros.
No, you don't get the point. Instead, you can give the number maybe 5, least one. You are not interested to work in Telangana.
Actually, the process was designed in such a way. If you choose the home state as a 1, it will be the first option, sir. Otherwise, it will be 0.
So this is his choice. He wants to serve in Telangana as his first choice, but not number. It is his home state. If I get the home state Telangana, he'll be very happy. Otherwise,
It's
Andhra.
okay. It's okay.
That was the
Yes, sir,
logic.
let him come
That was
straight.
the logic. Yeah. Correct logic, that is. Yeah.
So, Mr. Ramu, you have studied electronics and communications engineering
Yes, sir.
from NIT,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So nowadays, many scientists are talking about disaster risk mapping.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what exactly meant by this disaster risk mapping, and how this engineering knowledge would be helpful for this disaster risk mapping?
Sir,
Do you know anything about this?
Yes, sir. With my limited knowledge, a disaster risk mapping is the mapping the places which are more disaster prone, the earlier system, by using the satellite remote sensing satellite technology, by using the LiDAR technology, for example, laser technology. We can easily assess the places which are prone to floods, or which are prone to cyclones, or which are prone to droughts. By using these LiDARs and sensors, we can tell them, sir. By using this, we can map them, and so that we can plan accordingly earlier itself through the early warning systems, and also by building the proper resilient disaster resilience infrastructure, and also we can prepare very well before the disasters comes.
Yeah. Nowadays, this AI revolution,
Yes, sir.
artificial intelligence revolution, became a most important phenomena in modern world, right?
Yes, sir.
So how this AI revolution is going to affect the education system in India?
Sir, I believe AI has evolutionized the entire educational system, but in both ways, sir. From the positive side, definitely AI has accommodated the education, made it a personalized education. For example, providing the all the digital technologies. For example, the demonstrated based learning is very much possible with AI, and
No,
also
do you think that this AI revolution would make the teacher insignificant in the education system in the course of time?
Sir, there were concerns, sir, but definitely it will not make insignificant. But the teacher's role would be reduced. But again, it will give the choice. It will give the more space for the teacher to accommodate, to help the children in much better way. For example, definitely there will be a personalized monitoring should be there, and also uh, to the physical connect between the student and children is a very much essential, and it is still strong, sir, I believe, and it will be there also as well, sir.
Yeah, through your DAF, you have mentioned one of your interest is learning insights from the Mahabharata.
Yes, sir.
So what kind of insights you draw from Mahabharata? Can you tell just 2-3 points with regard to that?
Yes, sir. Sir, I have learned so many insights from Mahabharata, but among them I can quote 2-3, sir. The first one is the definition of Dharma, where many of the people think that Dharma has a rigid definition. What is right is called Dharma, but for me, what I have learned from Mahabharata is Dharma is always contextual. It depends on the situation and person to person and place to place. So Dharma is always about the fairness, doing the very just decision, and also in the public interest. That is what Dharma, sir. And second one is, sir, institutional checks and balances. If there is no institutional checks and balances, definitely it will lead to the societal collapse. That is what we can observe from the Mahabharata, where there were no institutional checks in Kurusabha because no elders were intervened, and also nobody checked the malified intentions of the Sakuni,
Good,
and
good.
also the
Okay.
greedy
Then
of
third
Duryodhana.
one.
And the third one is, sir, as I said earlier, diplomacy, sir. We should always go for the diplomacy rather than going for a war until the last minute, sir. This is also another one thing, sir.
Yeah, another last question.
Yes, sir.
Recently, G20 summit was held at Johannesburg.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, what are the key outcomes of G20 summit? And what is the role and responsibility of India as far as this G20 countries are concerned?
Sorry, sir. Exactly couldn't recollect the outcomes of the recent G20. But the role of India is very much significant in G20 because India is the leading country which represents the third world countries at the global south. Because we are the one we pursued to add. We are the one who got succeeded in adding the entire African Union into the G20 last year when we had the G20 here. So by us by striving for the very new generation reforms in UN system, especially UNSC and WTO, and fighting for the developing countries' rights against the kind of IPs, against the irrational subsidies by the developed countries in many areas, sir, and especially in the renewable energy sector through ISA, and all these are the areas mainly, and also fighting against the counter terrorism. In so many areas, we are working and representing the third world countries. So that is how India is placing itself in the global platform through G20. Sir.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah. Mr. Ramu, you mentioned about an insight that you've drawn from Mahabharata, saying that you would like having checks and balances is important.
Yes.
If you would like to apply the same learning and take any scenario, any situation that has been happening in the recent past, in any administrative setting, let us assume, what would that be, and how would you like to apply that to counter any damages that have occurred? You give your own scenario and tell me how you would apply checks and balances there.
Yes. Ma'am, I would like to apply this checks and balances theory, especially in Indian judiciary. Ma'am. Even this was what I have done in my youth parliamentary session also. I was asked to introduce an NJAC bill there because
Introduce
in
what?
India,
Introduce what?
NJAC bill, sir, National Judicial Commission. Yes.
Yeah.
Because in Indian judiciary, in the name of independence, we are facing some judicial exclusivity, but judicial accountability, definitely judicial independence is not negotiable, but judicial accountability should come with it should come with the judicial independence, not the exclusivity. So I feel there should be a little bit supervision by other organs like executive body also. For example, while appointing the Supreme Court judges or High Court judges, there should be a commission in which there will be a little bit involvement of the executive as well. This is what even international practice is also there. It will also improve the efficiency in judiciary, so that because present we are following collegium, in which there is a lot of opacity and lack of transparency. Even there is no criteria for the selection of a Supreme Court judge in that collegium discussion. So yes, ma'am, I will introduce this institutional check balance in judiciary. Definitely, I have no capacity, ma'am, at the moment. But
what capacity will be having to do something like that?
Definitely through the national consultations and pursuing, we can do this. At the same time, if not through the bill, definitely we can introduce some reforms like digitalizing that collegium system, and also making the record of the minutes while proposing that selection, and also by strengthening the internal inquiry committee of the courts. Yes.
Okay. Sir was talking about providing career guidance to the students,
Yes,
right? That you have done in your capacity, what makes you a competent person to offer career guidance or counseling to the parents and career guidance to the students?
Ma'am, I
I
have
mean, in apart from the personal observation you had that you had a difficulty as a student, so that is one reason you have already shared. Beyond that, what, in which capacity, what are the competences you have to offer career guidance? You said you took just a bunch of friends and you were going around schools
Yes.
and talking about careers, right? What are the competencies that you had to give a proper career guidance to the students?
Yes, ma'am. I about the competency of myself. I have, ma'am. I'm a graduate from one of the very national prestigious institute. So I feel I know how to guide children who are at the level of 9th and 10th class, ma'am. And also, by the time I have got the exposure of the all the fields. For example, I thought of becoming a doctor also, even when I was in school. But I don't know anything about aims or anything about the government medical college through the NEET and all, man. But after I entered into the engineering, I got lot of friends who are studying in different fields. They told me what are the paths they have followed. So we have gathered all that information. When we, yes ma'am, that is how I felt, yes, I was ready to do this. And yes ma'am, that is how I have gathered my friends also.
Do you think when you responded to sir regarding this question, so what was the consequence of your career guidance? You said you couldn't follow up much.
Yes.
So don't you think that if you would have made it more structured, if you would have designed it better, or if you have involved some experts that can also give this, guidance in various careers, and a follow up, like you have done some sessions for so many students, and how many actually uh, have chosen those career paths that you finally suggested or advised them? It would have been a better model to put forth or confidently talk about.
Yes, ma'am, I agree. Even I thought I could have been done this very better way. But again, ma'am, with my personal capacity, I have done this. But I have this very plan for myself that I should institutionalize this initiative by involving all the experts or the relevant NGOs, and also by making the teachers and also parents together, like making some school management committees through some audits, social audits and all. So yes, ma'am, I have the plan for institutionalize this once after I getting into the bureaucracy. Even if I don't get into the bureaucracy, definitely I will work along with some NGOs, and I will try to institutionalize this, and also I'll make a follow up in a very constructive manner, like unlike what I have done until now.
So my same question goes to counseling as well.
Yes, ma'am.
You said you were counseling parents of the
Yes,
children who are dropping out.
Yes, ma'am.
So what qualification do you have to counsel them? What do you mean by counseling, and what exactly were you doing? Are you a qualified counselor?
No, ma'am. I was not a qualified counselor. I have no kind of any certification kind of. I'm not a certified counselor. But yes, ma'am. Again, uh, with empathy and my compassion, I just tried to pursue them to continue their education, because most of the learners, especially from Andhra and Telangana, even most of the other states as well, they are the first learner genders where the parents had no schooling. Even my father and my mother had also no schooling, ma'am. So they, most of the parents who don't have schooling, they don't know much about the long term benefits of the education because of the limitations they have, lack of awareness and all.
Yeah, you were giving me the reasons why you entered into it, but do you think that you are a competent competent enough to be a counselor?
I'm
And
not sure,
don't
ma'am.
you think that this will be a very important question that anybody would ask, right?
Yes, ma'am. I have
You-
already
you-
facing the same problem again.
Okay, you are already facing the same situation. So even I think here also, I don't know how could you follow up and see if the dropout rate has reduced with whoever you've been interacting. What could be a better word that you can use instead of saying counseling the parents? What exactly were you doing? Can you give me a better word here?
Exactly.
Okay, Thank you, Ramu. Thank you.
Yeah. Ramu, you had corporate technical experience, Ford, right? You left the job and you want to be a civil servant. Do you think yourself as best suited for the civil services than a corporate job?
Yes, sir, I believe. Yes, sir, I believe that I'm very much suitable for the public administration rather than corporate. But nevertheless, I can do that as well.
Okay, good. Okay, now justify how you are best suited to be a civil servant than a corporate technical expert.
Sir, I have come from a very grassroots family where I can see, where I have grown up with a very social conscience, kind of a moral responsibility of how could I help serving the people around me, because I have seen the kind of rural ground level problems as well. So I thought I have this mind, I have this mindset even since my childhood, but this decision is completely matured even when I was in NIT Warangal. So that is how I pursued it. At the same time, sir, in corporate we have the limited scope for do this, and also in the corporate sector we don't have much public larger interest, because it's all about the personal growth and the company growth rather than the public help, public importance. So this is how, even since my childhood, I have this instinct more than being a corporate, sir. So that is how.
You heard about Aravalli range in the news recently.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what is the core issue?
Sir, Aravalli had a very significant role in terms of ecology and biodiversity in the North India, especially from Rajasthan to Delhi. But there was a lot of illegal mining is going there, and lot of hills were got reduced to very insignificant numbers, sir. So recently, an empowered committee constituted by the Supreme Court has given some a specific definition for Aravalli, because earlier every state is following their own definitions for the sake of making the policies friendly towards projects and all. So it has come up with a uniform definition of if the hill, when the hills not less than 100 meters should come under a proper Aravalli definition. There, the mining should not be done. Even around 500 meters around the hills also should come under the definition.
No, just now. There is a problem now with the Supreme Court intervention.
Sir? Yes, sir.
That's why it is in the news, Aravalli.
Yes.
So now, how will you solve this problem? What is your solution for this problem? Is it technological solution or as an administrative solution? Which one you prefer?
Sir, definitely, I think both are needed, sir. Both are needed, because from the administrative point of view, we should definitely pursue all the state governments as well here, because at the end of the time, at the end the land, everything will comes under the state subject. We should pursue all the states for the ecological benefits of everybody. So this is, for this administrative point of view is very much needed, and while implementing the policy also, the supervision from the UPSC is very much needed. From the technological point of view, sir, it is the implementation challenges will be there. For example, deciding the 100 meters height, exactly we don't know the kind of elevation, how could we measure it? Even earlier the 3-degree slope was there, but it was the implementation challenges we got. That is why we have changed the definition, sir. But yes, sir, by using the Indian Forestry Council, Research Council, by giving the exact 100 height hills and the around 500 meters of the space, by mapping them as a ecological sensitive zones, and that is how both are needed, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Finally, you are fascinated by the word diplomacy, which is highly influenced from your Mahabharata, right, study. Now, take the contemporary geopolitical conflict of your choice, which was solved because of the diplomatic intervention of your choice. Any geopolitical conflict
which has already been solved as
by diplomatic intervention. To be very precise, Indian diplomatic intervention.
Sir, if I confirm, you're asking me where the Indian diplomacy has succeeded in solving that problem.
Yes. Okay, I give you a specific example. Russia-Ukraine war. So, did Indian diplomatic intervention succeed?
Sir, so far it is still going. It was not
Very well.
concluded. But
Now, coming to the Bangladesh. So,
Sir,
there is a conflict
yes.
now.
yes, sir,
What
again,
is your diplomatic solution to solve the Bangladesh problem now vis-a-vis India?
Sir, from the Bangladesh issue, definitely at the moment we should not intervene directly because the
So,
problem.
your diplomacy may not be a viable option to solve the ongoing conflict. Do you agree with my? So, diplomacy is basically a theoretical proposition. It doesn't solve any problem. Even Krishna couldn't solve Mahabharata through his diplomatic intervention. He could. Did he stop it? He didn't.
Sir, I partly agree with you with this, sir. Definitely, Krishna has failed. We can say a failure in this diplomacy, but even the strategies behind it also as well, sir, because he has tried all the options through which they were not agreed. Even the diplomacy itself, for example, yes, sir. If the diplomacy didn't work, we can do then whatever we can do our capacity to the forces. Sir.
Thank you, sir.